Hi, I'm Mason Bendewald. Thanks for joining me on this quick slideshow and talk on how man and machine are affecting the fitness industry, or more specifically, how artificial intelligence and VR are changing the fitness industry, the next tools, if you will, that we'll be using. It was not long ago that we weren't even tracking our fitness the way we are today. There was no Strava, no Fitbit, no Apple Watch. I use mine for steps and for tracking my workouts daily. And we also are now adopting fitness in a way we didn't. We have our phones, our devices, our tablets, our laptops, and we work out at home, on vacation, at the beach, in a park. We can take it to the gym if we want. And so the user experience, the adoption of technology has eclipsed year after year, where humans are taking technology and using it much faster than they used to. And particularly at this particular time, while this is being recorded, even more people are not only using technology, but we're also producing technology and using it in ways to reach the fitness industry faster than we used to. This screencast is an example of that. Let me go over what we're going to cover today. In a very short amount of time, we're going to cover a lot of ground. So I want you to be able to walk away with an understanding of AI and VR in a way that you can explain it clearly to your friends and colleagues and not be so, like, we're going to demystify some of it. So we're going to define what AI and VR are to start with. And we're going to go over a bunch of case studies. So there's going to be a whole bunch of different applications from hardware, platforms, and programs. And I'll have some fun examples in there so you really get an understanding of the differences and what's possible. And then ultimately, you're going to understand what the applications are for fitness using the umbrellas of AI and VR. And we'll have a conclusion on how humans fit into all of this at the end. Are they going to take over? Are we going to be necessary in this equation at all? Or are we just going to have that guy on the side there doing it all for us? All right, so let's define artificial intelligence, or AI. This is a very broad term, and well, let me read the definition. Computer systems capable of performing tasks that normally require human intelligence, such as visual perception, speech recognition, decision-making, and translation between languages. In short, it is a very smart computer. It's that next level of computer. We are not at a place where we have a computer that is making our emotional decisions for us. Think of having a really great personal trainer and how they talk to you about what's going on in your life. Most personal trainers, if they're good, are part therapist and part trainer, because we really have somebody there who we're talking to about our life as we go through it. Even if it's about fitness, there's struggles in fitness, and so those conversations are not something a computer can do yet. Think of your Alexa, and when you talk to it, or your phone, and when you talk to Siri, they do not understand the nuances of what's going on, especially as you get angry and you start yelling at Siri. I've done that more than once. Okay, here is a more fantastical, futuristic thought of what AI is to become. One of my favorite films, this was shot in 1968 by Stanley Kubrick, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and the supercomputer named HAL actually helps run the spaceship and is getting this mission out there. Dave, the pilot, is on the outside. I'm going to show you a little clip. Is on the outside of the spaceship trying to get in, and the computer and Dave, the pilot, are now at odds with what the mission is. And the computer, in essence, is trying to outsmart or outthink and make the decisions for Hal. Here is a moment.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
What are you talking about, Hal?
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
So, man, I remember watching that for the first time as a kid, and it freaked me out, the idea that a computer could start making a decision that could affect your life. Well, that's a very dark look at the future of what computers can do, but there is a much more practical and fun thought that is coming way before that happens. And part of that is VR. So let's discuss what VR is. VR, or virtual reality, is a computer-generated simulation of a three-dimensional environment that you can interact in and seamlessly feel in a real or physical way. So if you haven't already put on a set of VR goggles, one of the most popular is, I have pictured up there at the top, is called Oculus Quest. I have a set of those. I'll talk more about that later. But it really puts you in this environment where when you first step into it, the first time you do this, and it's only going to get more and more realistic, it's mind-blowing. We're going to look at some two-dimensional versions of this, and if you haven't put them on, it's not going to look that exciting. When you have these goggles on, you are seeing everywhere around you. You see the picture. Versus if you sit in a movie theater and it's out in front of you, this is everywhere. So it starts to feel very real. I'm going to show you a clip here. I love this. This is a group of soccer players, football players, that were asked to do this plank challenge. So this is guy number 7. And keep in mind when you watch this, out of 7 guys, 2 of them wouldn't even step off of this mat. It felt so real. They were just laughing so hard. So anyway, this guy does step off. You'll see the mat in front of him. He rides up in an elevator 100 stories, and then the doors open and you walk out a plank, and you have to step off the plank, and it's as if you're falling 100 stories. So here we go. Let's try that again. Woo! So he's looking all around. He's out on the plank already.
How am I shaking?
And he's shaking already. You can see him, you'll see him breathing heavy. So there's the end of the mat. And the guys are watching him. They know what he's into. So he's stepped off now. So he hasn't left the room. He hasn't done anything other than walk on this mat. And it's so real. It's pretty intense. I don't know how to explain it. Until you've done something like that, I won't even play VR games that are too intense, like zombies coming at you, because my heart races too fast. All right, I still get a kick out of that, thinking that those tough soccer players are scared by VR. All right, so let's get into some case studies here. The first one up is a company called Tonal. And their claim is that they're the world's most intelligent home gym and personal trainer. I've done a bunch of consulting for them, specifically with casting, acquiring trainers, and then training their trainers. And I love that Tonal has taken 2 things, AI and trainers, and put them together so well. Let's take a listen here at some of what they do, and then we'll talk about it a little more.
Now we've selected your weight for you.
Tonal sets the weight optimal for you and adjusts as you get stronger. Or instantly dial up the weight yourself with the click of a button. Advanced intelligence monitors the quality of every rep, adapts guidance, and measures your progress in real time. Tonal sensors can even detect when you're struggling and spot you to help finish the set. Tonal is unlike any fitness equipment before. an entire gym and personal trainer on demand in the convenience of your home.
Celebrate that workout. You just push your mind and body to the limit. You're somebody new now.
Crush your goals without crushing your calendar. Let Tonal coach you to be stronger and leaner than you ever thought possible. Tonal, be your strongest.
So there you go. That's Tonal. And Tonal is available in the US right now. It ships everywhere. They come and they put it mounted onto your wall. So it's a physical piece of equipment that gets mounted onto the wall, and then you have a subscription that has these trainers. What they do really well, we'll go through is a great marriage between AI and human interaction. So if you heard that clip, what Tonal, the AI, the algorithm is doing is it's taking your data and it's creating a workout for you. But then you also have a coach that is there pushing you on the emotional side. What AI wants to ultimately do, but is not doing. Humans are the ones that really still, to me, and why I'm looking in the camera is so you can see my eyes. Because if I'm just down here doing stuff, it's not as much of a connection. And so same thing with fitness. Tonal has a screen that's been turned, so it actually looks like my size screen right here, which is vertical versus horizontal. And so you get more of a head-to-toe picture of your trainer. You feel like you're in the room with them more because of that, and you can see more of their body positioning. So I won't go over that too much. Trainers are the focus. AI is the support, I like to say, with Tonal. So even though Tonal is doing some really cool things in the background, one of my favorites is that it's got an assisted lift. So if you're a weight lifter and you're struggling with that last set, Tonal can see it and they will back off. It might be as little as a pound. If you've had somebody spotting you in the gym and they just touch the bottom of your elbow and somehow magically it goes up. So Tonal can do that for you, as well as calibrating and adding weight, as well as letting you be able to set it yourself. So they've thought through a lot of things there. They have a wide variety of trainers so that you are able to find somebody that you're really connecting with, and that's huge. So the emotional connection fitness is something that I'm always talking about when I'm coaching and doing consulting work. They're a full body workout. That's how they're designed, but they're strength focused. So they're not like, you're not doing cardio on their machine, for instance, like a Peloton would be. And about the only con that they've got is that they're locked into the wall. So you're not going to take that system out into the park with you. But like any piece of equipment, that's you have it designed to be in your home. All right, next up is Supernatural. This company is really smart too. They are taking gaming and really trying to more be specific in fitness. There's a lot of companies out there doing this. This one, the parent company is called Within, and Chris Milk is the CEO. He used to be a music video director. So they've got some great advantages here. I did some consulting work for them, helped get trainers in and worked with those trainers a bit. And here is a little clip of what Supernatural is like. Keep in mind, they're trying to build the idea of what it would feel like in the headset if you were there with them.
Jump out of bed every morning and work out on the top of a mountain. And meet my coach in the most beautiful places on the planet.
Let's jump right into it. That's it. Hips back. Chest up.
I want to do the whole damn workout in my pajamas. And I want to become a champion in a sport from the freaking future.
Take your whole body into those stripes.
Home workout? What if you could be more like this?
Let's finish strong here. Nice work, athlete.
So there you go. That's a pretty good, without being in the goggles yourself, that's a pretty good sense of what it feels like. But you could literally be in that small room and then be in this place where you're floating on another planet. that's one of my favorite trainers there, Leanne Pedante, and hearing her coaching while you're doing that. If you've ever done any gaming, you don't have somebody coaching you through things. She's coaching you. She's an amazing coach. And so that extra bit of motivation really can make an enormous difference, as most of you well know. So this is a fitness game you can download on Oculus. It's subscription-based. Trainers are, again, the focus. It's not, gaming is a huge part of the focus, but they're not talking about the AI. They're not talking about the algorithms. They are having fun with you doing fitness, and then you've really got a trainer that's talking to you that is your focus. That's how I would think of it. VR is an enormous support for the imagination, which drives engagement. When I was working with Supernatural, with Within on this, I was playing for hours, and that's much longer than I would normally work out, which has its pros and cons. But it certainly had me just going. Like I was dripping with sweat. Chris Milk, because he's from the music video industry, Top Music was a big deal, so they have a special licensing deal, and so they have some really great music, which is also a huge motivator. These are full body, more cardio based workouts, so they're not strength. You're not getting down and doing push-ups too often. That's hard to do with a headset on, for instance. And the only con here is that VR is still, unless you have a lot of space, it's still a bit restrictive. So in this case, you're doing lots of arm swings, you're doing lots of squats and lunges. Playing a different game, I did things too repetitively for too long, and I ended up like hurting my back because I wasn't working the rest of my body enough. So that's just something to keep in mind. With VR still has limitations in terms of how much of your body you're using. And if you want to hear some incredible insights on virtual reality and how it's going to affect humans now and in the future, go to TED Talks and search for Chris Milk Virtual Reality. He's got 2 different talks. I highly, highly recommend them. He is a pioneer in the industry. All right, Blackbox VR. So this is yet a different application. This is a physical brick and mortar space. They're out of San Francisco, but they now have several locations throughout the U.S. So you become a member of this gym. I'll let this little news report do the explanation better than I can. Here we go. Whoops. Sorry, click through it again. Let's try. Here we go.
Blackbox is essentially a virtual reality fitness gym. So you actually put on a headset.
So not used to this.
You go into VR.
Whoa!
And you play this immersive video game. Punch the red, punch the blue, karate chop.
Oh my God.
Your body is the controller.
What?
Any exercise that you do is actually an attack inside the game.
This is way better than that Dance Dance Revolution.
It's really giving people a chance to find something totally different that can help them adhere to their fitness goals. Ryan DeLuca and Preston Lewis, they have a background coming from bodybuilding.com. They came together and they're like, there's something here with virtual reality and fitness. And they actually started out with a VR controller duct taped to a dumbbell. We actually are membership based. So you come in just like a regular fitness studio. You go into your own personal booth and...
So there you go. It's pretty cool. I've tried it, and it's got industrial equipment, just like a gym would. Tonal's a home piece of equipment, very similar in that it's strength training, but this has got a different feel to it. It's got some girth, and if you don't have the room or the money to buy Tonal, for instance, this could be another good option for you. There's some pros and cons though here. So this is a combination of gaming and a brick and mortar gym, but there's some drawbacks too. So as we've discussed, the VR really sports imagination. It is pretty cool. You're motivated to keep playing, but there's no interaction with anybody else in there. And so that kind of bummed me out a bit. I was, after a while, I was like, I really want to be talking to the lady who was coaching me at first, ended up leaving. And the other thing is that it compared to some of the others, it really does. They've worked very hard to give you more of a full body workout. So there is strength and there is cardio involved. So I give it props for that. That's one of the few that can cover those two. Partly because it's industrial equipment and there's more space, and they worked hard to make that happen. The biggest con here is that you have to go to one space, and that there's a limit to how much space there is. So if you want to, there's usually all these, gym rush times before and after work. There's only so many slots, and you can only be there for so long. You're going to be pushed out, and you might not be able to get in and out and make it work with your schedule. So there's the pros and cons for Blackbox VR. Okay, Racket NX. This is a lot of fun. This is very personal to me. I play this game. I'm one of the top 10 players. I play in actually like a league when they come up, or tournaments when they come up. And it's not fitness per se, but the reason why I put this in the deck is because I have so much experience with it, and because of the engagement. So I am physically in a space with somebody else. When I play multiplayer, there is somebody standing next to me, and we are talking to each other, and we're engaged, and it is a lot of fun. So at this point, I have a group of people that I talk to all over the world, about 10 of us, and the top 10 that are playing quite a bit, maybe more, probably more like 15 or 20 of us. All right, here's a little clip. It doesn't look as cool on this little screen, but I'll narrate a little bit to give you an idea. It's the idea that there's somebody standing there with you, that you're physically playing. And if you've ever played racquetball before, this is akin to racquetball in that you're playing off of all the walls, but this is an enormous dome. So you are playing 360 degrees, and the walls are much further away from you. Farther, further. There we go. So there you can see the two players, and you're trying to hit targets to score, and trying not to hit some targets that'll actually decrease your score. This is an overhead view for dramatic effect. And you play matches. You play the best out of 2 games wins the match. And there's leaderboards. And you're not listening to that music most of the time unless you choose to. What you are listening to is your buddy either giving you a hard time or having fun. You're talking about family. You're talking about all sorts of things. It's very cool. That is the top thing about Racket NX, in my opinion. But we're going to go over them. So it's a game on Oculus Quest. You have the goggles and controllers, and you download it and you play that. It's my favorite game. I explained that. I've pretty much covered this. And it's that club feel. It's the idea that right after I'm done doing this, I could go put those on, and at any given time, somebody could be there. And just like a club that you belong to, there are times when certain people will be there at certain times. So that's a lot of fun. It's a pretty good cardio workout. It's not a great cardio workout. It's not a great strength training, just like racquetball, tennis, whatever, you're using one hand. You're not playing with 2 hands. And even so, unlike racquetball, tennis, any sport like that, you're not running around. You're in one place. You're turning around and you're spinning. So it's better than nothing, but it's certainly not full fitness. And that's the con there. Okay. I want to talk about some hardware applications. So one, Icarus is is a flying type of simulation, which is designed to engage your core. I tried this at FitTech last year. It was a lot of fun, but it's a very expensive piece of equipment that most individuals don't have the space or the money for. It's going to end up more of a gym application, brick and mortar. And same with, well, Catwalk C is actually smaller, and it's got low friction shoes and a pad so that you're simulating what it would be like to be on a treadmill. And you have a harness so that you can walk and turn. And it's pretty cool. That I have not tried, but I have tried low friction shoes on before. And so that has more applications for fitness I can see coming as people design it. Certainly just doing the walking and the pushing is giving you some good cardio right away. So hardware definitely has a place in our near future as things are developed more specifically for fitness. All right, let's talk about our takeaways and review what we've done. AI and VR are growing fast, and there's a lot of applications involved, from platforms in VR and weight calculations and assisted lifting in algorithms with AI. And then you just saw some of the hardware that's coming out too, or that's already out and constantly being invented. VR is great potential. This is, to me, the most exciting thing, is the potential for building connections and community. We're always talking about community outside of brick and mortar gyms, and this to me is the most obvious way for it to happen. We're still not there yet, but it's coming quickly. That'll be the most exciting application of VR in the fitness world, in my opinion, is when you can put several people in a room together and do a great workout. VR can drive engagement. We know that if you're keeping people there, people get better results, and that's through the imagination. So there's the imagination. When it's stimulated, you're being entertained, you'll hang around longer. And so my conclusions here, I hope you're coming to the same ones, is that AI and VR are tools for fitness. They're not replacing it. You still, the smart players out there understand that, and they're using humans to still engage with their customers on an emotional level. Finally, I'm going to wrap up with a couple of film recommendations. If you like, you're stimulated by the idea of artificial intelligence. Her won an Academy Award. Joaquin Phoenix, and his love interest is an AI, and it's just a voice played by Scarlett Johansson. And it is a great utopian look at the future with AI. It's got some twists in there that I did not see coming, and I really highly recommend that. If you like the darker side of things, and these are both great movies, take a look at Ex Machina. That is more akin to a space odyssey, with AI coming online and becoming so smart that it is actually outthinking humans. And it's also great fun, a little darker, great acting, and I highly recommend both those, as well as the Space Odyssey. If it's worth rewatching if you haven't seen it in a while. My name's Mason Bendewald. If you would like to contact me, give me some feedback on this talk, or have any other questions, I'd love to hear from you. There's my information. I'm also on LinkedIn. My company name, which is not up there, is Mega Mace, MEGAMACE. Thank you very much. Hope you and your family are doing well and are safe and healthy during these times. And thanks to FitTech.